the scenario was that there was actually no safe place to play because the building itself was put down on top of the tarmac car park, but there was no real play facility here. So what we did, first of all, was to actually go out and about around the community. And that meant that we were actually in and out of all the shops because this is a built environment all round about us. So for instance, the children going out and walking along the road on their way to the park and getting hailed in by the lady in the opticians because there was nobody in. She said, would the children like to come in and try on all the different spectacles? Do you know? And that kind of lit the idea that there's lots of opportunities like that within the children's own environment to learn about the world of work and what grown-ups do. But then these were children who went in there and their interactions were exactly as adults would do, and that same respect and that listening to the people that they were talking to who were sharing that information. And then actually using Alexandra Park, which is a wonderful green space, like many of the green spaces in Glasgow, the joy that the children got there and the freedom. And what we noticed in all of that right from the start was just how much additional vocabulary, but the incentive to talk, the provocations were there. So as a context, going out to learn, which is what we call it, hashtag going out to learn, and hashtag learning adventures, because even stepping out the door and going out, things happen. There are people to talk to, there are things that occur that the children actually are engaged in, and then they come back and they talk more about it and they want to learn more.
Well, I've been at Westercraigs for 3 years, and in the 3 years I've come here, the children have been actively involved in the local community. We go to Tesco's and get our shopping. We have been up at the fruit market. We take the children on the minibus to the fruit market, and from there we bought vegetables and things. They went with a shopping list, and we do I call it a soup kitchen, but it's not, it's a soup shop. And the children do all the serving with their parents, and they sell the ingredients, and the staff have done a recipe, and the parents go home and they make soup, and then they share it with us on Twitter, so the whole world can see it. We use our own growing area as well, and we have had herb shops where we sold the produce to the parents. We've give away our potatoes. The children are involved in a growing project at the minute. We got funding from WeG, and we gave every child and parent a window box with compost, seeds, parsley, different herbs, marigold to keep the beasties away, I was told. And they've been encouraged to do windowsill growing at home. And parents are saying that their children wouldn't have eaten greens before, but now they seem to like them because they're growing them themselves. So it's all these different wee things that we give everybody an opportunity with.
When I actually looked at it, I could see that everything was being covered. So for instance, issues about flooding. Well, what we've got in our playground today is a classic example of what can happen when you get a lot of rain and the surfaces can't manage it. And this happens regularly in the nursery, and the children then use that either to play in, or on one occasion, quite dramatically, one of the children in a whole wetsuit decided to get in and swim in it. That in actual fact, the children then were using this to solve, how can I get from there to there? Now, for some children, as I've done myself, walked round when I haven't had my wellies on and just had shoes on, that I've actually had to walk round through the different locations to get round. But what the children do is, look, I want to get from there, here to there very quickly. So they do that problem solving thing, which is maths and science, and they build bridges. And they find the means to get over. Or they go and lift one of the bikes and they go through it, and then they leave a wake behind. All of the science is in that. So everything that they're actually engaging in has aspects of the curriculum in it, and we don't strive to go through, we're going to hit this in the trackers, the literacy trackers, and we're not going to go and hit that in the maths trackers. Yes, we will focus on those, and the staff themselves, including myself, will be able to see what is the potential within what we've got here, and what would we need to bring to add into it that would open out that potential so the children can actually operate through these different areas of the curriculum.
we live, or we work, we live surrounded by tenements and high-rise flats, and our children don't often have such a great area like this to get out and play and learn. And it's us giving them that opportunity. I mean, we have a high percentage of families who English is not their first language, and we take them out on learning adventures and they get to see bits of Glasgow they didn't know existed. Actually, some of our families that actually live in Glasgow don't know that half of these places exist. So it's getting people out there and getting them to know what's available and being able to share those resources and everything with them. And the legacy is just every generation getting a chance to learn about how they can look after their planet, how they can look after their own local environment, so as that, it goes to that generation, they'll be able to share it with their children, their families. It's just getting that story out there.